Okay. Oh, okay. It is recording. It's pretty sunny out in the month of October, and I'm walking by right now. I just came from Hillside on 179th Street, Jamaica Avenue, and I've been familiar with 179th Street for years, actually, since I was a little girl. Then again, I'm familiar with a lot of places in New York and New Jersey, mainly. Um, Definitely, New York and New Jersey is not my final destination. I will be heading back to California eventually. Um, but as you can see, this apartment, right? This building, that house. Okay, so this is where this brings back a lot of childhood memories. Some not so great, believe it or not. Some okay. That is where my biological father and his sister would be my aunt and her adopted children and actual biological children lived. All right, this is the area. So I'm familiar with this area for years. I actually changed a lot, but not so much. But um, this is a family situation that didn't go very well because, again, since I was a child, I've been dealing with a lot of racial division, which is spiritual warfare, basically. When things are racial, when there's no respect, when there's a lot of racial scenarios going on, when people are addicted to witchcraft. When people are addicted to witchcraft, even in your family members, even if it's your family members, basically you end up like, you see, because there's a saying, and it's from like an old priest. Somebody's starving those animals. They're starving their dogs. Like something's going on back there. But there is a saying, the family, quote unquote, the family that prays together stays together. And I did not come from a family that prayed. I came from relatives who went to church services and whatnot for appearances, and did not really have a strong enough belief in God in heaven, and didn't follow Christ's teachings. They knew about Christ, but it was always this sympathy thing where, oh my God, look how they treated him. He was put on the cross, but they didn't actually study um, his life. You know, like there are other books other than the Holy Bible on Jesus Christ, like Sylvia Brown's Mystical Life of Jesus, which is an extension of his life after the crucifixion. So there are other books on Jesus Christ and the people that was around him, like the Marys, the two Marys. So a lot of people, and one of them was not his mother. One was, and the other wasn't, right? And so there's an extensive study on Christ that these people don't even look into. All they know is just the Bible, and the Bible has a lot of missing information. It's a historical context that doesn't have every detail from history, you know. Um, Lots of details in there, but not all. And um, there's another person who is, I believe, a producer director by the name of Mel Gibson, who did this film called Passion of the Christ. Even with him, you know, and of course I complain a bit about his Apocalypto movie. He doesn't go into the reasons why those things happen. He just kind of displays the atrocities without explaining the reasons behind them. Like, for example, Jesus Christ, you know, was not just treated like that because he was poor, because supposedly he was black. First of all, he was not born a man of color. He was born Jewish, which means he was a white man. And so he was not born of color. No matter what you see in him, he was born a white man. And the reason, part of why, reasons why he was treated like that was because he was going against the principles of certain deities of that time, certain Pharisees. He went up against royalty. And that's why he was treated like that. He didn't impress them. He didn't entertain or impress people who had, you know. And I think we all had, a lot of us had a lifetime in that time period. I know I did, but I know I was not going through what he was going through in that life. because there's a lot of people that were purple, that were royalty, that were Pharisees, that were powerful. And Jesus Christ was not. He was making himself powerful. He became powerful because he was probably psychic or whatever, but he went against a lot of people who were ahead of him or whatever the case was. He may have been ahead of them, but either way, whether it was because they didn't like the way he looked or whatever the case may have been, he just didn't get along with the people of that time, and it got out of hand and manifested into his crucifixion. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do well with them, and he was powerful in his own right because he was, well, what Jesus Christ was doing was a lot of white magic. He was undoing shit. You know, he was doing psychic stuff, making people see, doing a lot of stuff that went against the enemies of the people that was doing shit to other people. So he was doing a lot of white magic, and I could only relate to him in this lifetime because I have such a profound respect for cleansing and white magics, believe it or not, in its simplicity. um, you know, and there's a lot of things I include in works of white magic, like novenas, which is basically something I just got into, like I would say probably last year and this year, which is like 9-day prayers. Not fasting, but 9-day prayers for 9 consecutive days. That's what novenas are. And people do that with paper, with candles, you know, with talismans, charms, tokens, whatever. I forgot the name of the other stuff, but yeah. So, this is kind of what it's been, really, right? I'm I'm not gonna post this on social media because today is actually my last night posting on Twitter, but now called X. So I'm going to now be posting on Facebook up until a certain day as well. And I basically view the timeline of everything I post as reference. I go back to it when I'm going into my writing material or when I'm trying to remember, gee, what was I thinking or doing during this time and day? And now I know because I see it on my timeline on my social media posts. It's almost like a planner. I can go back to it and remember, oh, this is what I did, this is what I didn't do, brings that memory in. And it's pretty nostalgic for me. It's nostalgia for me to be able to go back into my social media page, my channel, or my Twitter X account, or Facebook, or Instagram, and look through all my posts, tweets, look through my timeline. It's nostalgic for me. But being that it's my last day posting on it today, and then a few days will be my last day posting on Facebook, it'll be more so now just reference and just nostalgic. Or to look to remember things. And also, I will be using, however, other features on Twitter and Facebook, but I won't be tweeting as much on the timeline. I'm just going to leave the timeline as it is because I think I have thousands and thousands of tweets and posts on these pages. I mean, you could call it like, it might as well be like a goddamn course, like literally on, you come up with it. But yeah, so basically that was basically it. Now someone's giving me a call while I'm doing this recording. I'm gonna finish this up before I take any calls. So basically that was kind of what I had to go through. Yeah, there's a lot of things, like for example, this community I'm in I don't like. People say it's not the worst, but as far as I'm concerned, it might as well be. Because I mentioned this in another recording. Someone was led into the apartment where my belongings are in, and someone poured water into my electronic devices while I was using the bathroom. So as far as I'm concerned, it might as well just be the worst area I've been in. You know, it's apparently the people who did it, who are living out here, are originally from the Bronx or some other well-known hectic city, as we know. We got a lot of those. And so You know, people say it's bad everywhere, but no, there's certain things that just should not happen to people. How many people can say that happens to them? I mean, come on. Not everything that's happening to people is happening to other people. You know, that's not, you know, I won't even get into it. I actually have another video where I discussed with the whole scenario with the neighborhood and the phone thing. So I won't get into that here. Um, but there is some good news. Um, I registered to vote, and I will be voting this election. Yeah, in November. I am not going to say my political affiliation. Actually, there is no political affiliation really. I am a independent voter. So that would be checked off as other. You know, I'm an independent voter, right? So you can't come at me about anything because I'm an independent voter. And I like it that way. And the elections is coming up, and eventually I'll be spending less and less time in the environment I've been in, around the person I've been around, a relative. And with that being said, I don't think there's much for me to say in this video. That's just kind of what I wanted to record. I survived spiritual warfare and I'm still surviving it, and you can too. Peace.